Hi everyone, Bobbie LaPorte here again with my weekly tip for your best next move, where I help you have more agency in your work, acknowledge your capacity to act, and see what you can do right now. So this week, I want to talk about increasing workloads that are just wearing people out. I continue to hear this every week, and I wonder if there isn't something different leaders can do for themselves and their teams. I know you're thinking, not another note on how to manage my workload. You've probably heard every angle, smart tip, strategy there is out, right? So I get it. So why is this still an issue for so many? Well, I have my theories, but here are some of the environmental elements that I see contributing to this ongoing issue. First, right now is the time of year for many of you for strategic planning, budgeting, the year-end Q4 push to hit your goals. So more work for you than your usual job. Second, there are just not enough people. Call it the Great Resignation or whatever phenomena you want, but many of my clients have 20+% of their existing positions not filled. Existing positions, never mind new hires they need going into a new fiscal year. And lastly, as empathetic leaders, we want to feel valued and needed. So we feel compelled to say yes to every request or additional work that comes our way. And subconsciously, some of us like playing the role of the overburdened, weary leader. We've just become accustomed to it. We like sympathy. Well, let me tell you, that persona no longer has a value. Your real value comes from making time to have perspective, to stop and think about how you're leading, and to create capacity, in others, not take it all on yourself. You know you can't do everything. At least you can't probably even do 75% of what you're taking on now. Not well anyway, or feel good about the outcome, or how you're involving your team and how you're managing yourself. And on top of this, it can be really self-defeating behavior. As my client and fellow student of behavioral fitness, Mike Hamilton from Databricks says, your present self is stealing from your future self. Because you continually take on too much for all the reasons I laid out earlier. And then when it comes to the point where you plan to take a break, whether it's next weekend or next Wednesday or 2 weeks from now, whatever, you're too worn out to appreciate the time. And the cycle continues. So here's my tip. Let's assume that for some reason, you can only work 75% of a regular work week. Maybe you have a family or some personal issue. I don't care, make it up. But you have no other option than to move work off your plate. So here's some ideas. What can you move or delegate to someone else? And don't automatically think that your team is not ready. Part of your job is to understand the skills and talents and ask them to extend themselves to grow. Second, what if you said no to some projects? What is the worst scenario? Is it really that important? Force yourself to do an objective evaluation of the ROI. And lastly, does this work really have to be done by you or someone on your team? Can it be outsourced or handed off to an expert who can readily step in and take it off your plate? And remember, doing this is not an admission of incompetence, it's just reality. Deploy the talents of your team to where they are most fully utilized. As always, I want 2021 to be a year of momentum for you, one of possibility thinking that takes advantage of the agency we sometimes forget we have. So that's my tip for the week. I hope it's helpful. Have a great week. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next Monday.